I had heard about this story in passing, but I did not have that much details on it because it was a very recent story and it was a very, I guess you could say a very quick one at the same time because it was almost like, I'm not going to say open and shut, but it was very fast, meaning it wasn't something that dragged on for a long time. Like it happened and now they pretty much have, or they now are drawing to a hopefully solid solution behind this whole thing. But before I get into the story, let me offer my condolences now to the family of this little girl. Because this story right here is so haunting and it's so devastating that I can't even bring myself to be completely pissed right now. Like it's late and I'm just going to keep my composure to a minimum. But trust and believe, if you can hear my tone right now, I am royally pissed the fuck off at this story for a multitude of reasons. But in case y'all didn't know, this little girl, her name was Kamille McKinney, but her family called her Cupcake. That was her nickname. And a few days ago, she was three. First off, she was 3 years old. And a few days ago, as a matter of fact, over a few days ago, almost 2 weeks ago, she was at a birthday party and she was kidnapped from that party. And just recently, as in a couple days ago, they found her body in a dumpster. Like that has to be one of the most heart-wrenching things any parent has to find out about when it comes to their child. To not only find out that their child was kidnapped, but to also find out that your child was not only found deceased, but also found in a dumpster. Like they just threw this person's child away like she was trash, like she was just easily discarded. Like she meant nothing. Like what could a 3-year-old do to a person, or in this case persons, because they actually have identified the suspects. Yes, there were 2 of them that were involved with this girl's murder. And I'm going to pull their pictures up on the screen in a second when I get ready to go in on them. But this is it's crazy. But at the same time, in this world today, you really need to watch your kids because you never know. It is some crazy people out here who are ready to at any moment snatch up your child and you may never see them again. I've heard so many stories about children being kidnapped and their families never see them again. Maybe years before they see them, or at worst case scenario, they won't ever see them again because they end up in situations like what she did. And look at her, pretty little girl. I know her family is going through it right now. But they have found and identified a suspect, or should I say suspects. Now I'm going to pause this video right quick and I'm going to pull their images up. Here are the 2 low-life pieces of shit who have been identified as suspects with the kidnapping, disappearance, and murder of that girl. Look at them. You can just look at them and see the shit, filth just exude off of them through this image. If I was in front of them right now, and I would never do this right here, but I can't see them as human beings. I see them as less than. If I was in front of them, I would spit on them both. I kid you not, and I mean every word of that. I would spit on them both. And I know that's a very vile and disgusting thing to do, but what they did was unforgivable. At the end of the day, they will still be breathing even after I did it. Unlike the little girl that is now dead because of them. It's crazy. I haven't even gotten into the damn article yet. I'm fuming right now because I hate hearing stories like this. I really do. Now, a lot of people say, like this is what, let me rephrase that. This is exactly why I frame myself the way that I do when it comes to these topics. Because I can go in on anybody. I really could. But when it comes to our own, I really go in. Now I'm going to go ahead and read this article. And something tells me I'm going to find out some stuff about these two I'm not going to like, other than the fact that they are some cold-blooded murderers. Okay. It says 2 suspects have been charged with murder after the body of 3-year-old Kamille Cupcake McKinney was found in a landfill over a week after she went missing. They dumped her body in a landfill, a place where trash is put at, because that's what they saw her as. Birmingham Police Chief Patrick Smith announced at a news conference Tuesday night that Kamille's remains were discovered in a trash bin taken to a landfill in Birmingham. Smith said police are obtaining murder warrants against 2 people previously identified as persons of interest in the case: 39-year-old Patrick Devontae Stallworth and his 29-year-old girlfriend, Derek Irisha Brown. First off, the bitch has a male's name. Her name is Derek. Investigators say they suspected Stallworth and Brown within 24 hours of when Kamille, who was known to relatives as Cupcake, was abducted from a birthday party on October 12th. No information regarding the motive has been released, and lawyers for both suspects have insisted that they had nothing to do with the abduction. Well, we will see about that. I wish I had all of you gathered here with good news. I wish I could share a high five or some type of celebratory salutation, but I cannot, Smith said at a Tuesday news conference. Tonight, our entire city is in mourning. Kamille is gone. I would like to thank the public for all the information, all of the tips, all of the video, and for their cooperation with the police department during the course of this investigation. Smith said investigators had been watching garbage deposits across 10 days that Kamille was missing, sifting through roughly 12 tons of cash. Now, I'm going to read right here this timeline that's been posted up, and it's dated from the 12th to the 22nd of October. October 12th reads, Kamille Cupcake McKinney is reported missing from a birthday party at a playground in Birmingham at 8:30 p.m. October 14th, Patrick Devon Stallworth and his 29-year-old girlfriend, Derek Irisha Brown, are arrested on unrelated charges and named as persons of interest in Kamille's disappearance. Now, here's the thing. Unrelated charges. Hopefully, they tell what those unrelated charges are, because that can give us a little bit more information about who they are as people. October 18th, police released surveillance video from the night Kamille was abducted, which showed a man approaching her at a park near the Tom Brown public housing projects before he walked off with her. October 22nd, police announced that Kamille's remains were found in a trash bin at a landfill, near where the 3-year-old was taken, as Stallworth and Brown are charged with murder. Both suspects were arrested last week on unrelated charges and named persons of interest in Kamille's disappearance. Stallworth was charged with 7 counts of possession of child pornography after investigators found multiple photos on his phone, none of which featured Kamille. And the thing about it is, who knows what would have happened had this little girl still been alive for a little bit longer. Hell, he could have had some pictures of her on his phone, but he could have deleted them. But the fact that they found child pornography in his home or in his possession lets you know that he definitely has a history of a fetish with children. That does not help his case whatsoever. He was released on a $500,000 bond and taken back into custody Tuesday night. He should have never been released, period, because guess what? Had they actually kept him there where he should have been, this little girl may not have been kidnapped. Brown was charged with violating probation conditions from a previous kidnapping case involving, get this, her own children. She was held without bond. Now, did you hear that? Okay, let's run this back again. This guy had child pornography, and he was released on a $500,000 bond, bail, whatever, and then put back in jail because of what recently happened with the little girl. This chick violated probation from a previous kidnapping charge violation involving her own children. Put that together, and with this little girl, you have a recipe for disaster. This, like I said, does not help either one of their cases. It makes them look even more guilty. Birmingham Mayor Randall Woodfin said investigators have not determined any links between the suspects and Kamille or her family. We believe that this was something they thought about and acted upon, and they saw an opportunity to take a young child, and they did. At this moment that we're standing in, I ask one thing of this community: not to take sides and not to finger point. But if there is any finger pointing to do, it is only at the perpetrator, who would kidnap an innocent 3-year-old and kill them. They forgot to add that in there. The mayor added, "This is a tough moment for this city. This is a tough moment for this family." Alabama Governor Kate Ivey released a statement about the discovery of Kamille's body, which read, "Given the tragic news that is breaking this evening, I offer my heartfelt condolences to Kamille's family. I offer profound thanks to law enforcement and to all the volunteers who have worked tirelessly in search of this precious little girl. The heart of our state is broke, but we must do all that we can to avoid this happening to another family. Our prayers remain with Kamille and her family and all who have been touched by this nightmare." I had to pause the video right quick because I was looking at the surveillance footage on the website, and it basically showed it was about 33 seconds long, and it was showing Kamille was playing with another little boy at the park, and it looks like they were by themselves. That's why I say you really have to really pay attention to your kids, because they can wander off at any given moment. And in a park, that's free reign for a lot of predators to come to, because that's where a lot of kids frequent. And it showed that it was some guy there, and then all of a sudden it ends as he's walking off, and she walks behind him, and then it cuts off. Let's see. It says, on Friday, police released surveillance footage from the night of Kamille's abduction, which showed her playing with another child outside the Tom Brown public housing projects when two men approached. Police said the first man to enter the frame, who walked by the children without engaging with them, was a possible witness and urged him to come forward with any relevant information. The second man, who was previously known to law enforcement, was described as a suspect in the case. He was seen talking to the two young children before walking out of the frame with them. About half an hour after the surveillance video was recorded, Kamille was reported missing from the playground birthday party at the housing projects at around 8:30 p.m. The man suspected of taking her was believed to have driven a dark SUV. Police released security images from a gas station that showed the vehicle and the man driving it. Now, right now, I'm looking at images that show this person who was driving that SUV, and I can tell you right now, they're very clear images. The motherfucker that you see on the left side of your screen, it's definitely him. It is most definitely him. I had to pause it again because I had to switch off of their pictures. I can't stand to look at those two sick freaks anymore. I can't. If it proves that, if it pans out that it is them, the worst needs to happen. Point blank, period. I don't give a damn what anybody says. It just has to happen. I'm just going to leave it at that. It says police offered a $28,000 reward for any, I think this is just past information right here that I'm reading. So I'm going to stop reading at this moment because as of now, they have these two in custody. The rest of the information was just past tense information that really isn't relevant anymore, because it's basically coming from a standpoint as if the girl is still alive. But this right here is one of the saddest stories I've had to talk about this year, and it's very unfortunate that this happened to this little girl. My condolences again go out to the family, anybody who knew her. I hate having to do stories like this. I really do. I really fucking do. Like I said, the worst needs to happen to those two right there. And I truly believe that they had some involvement. And who knows what they could have done to, and the crazy part about it is, who knows what they could have done to that girl in the time that she was kidnapped and in their possession. I wouldn't say their care, because in their care would mean that they were good people, and they're not. The whole time she was in the possession, who I don't even want to think about what could have happened with her. Remember, she was missing for 10 days and they just found her body today. You know what? I was going to upload this video a couple of days from now, but I think I'm going to just go ahead and upload it as soon as I'm done recording it, because this one can't hold out for 2 days. So I'm going to just go ahead and upload it now and just be done with it. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments.